R. Kelly speaks out. Up next on BET Tonight.
He hit the scene in 1991 with the group Public Announcement. R. Kelly has been a force to be reckoned with. He's become one of his time's most prolific singer-songwriters, but just like Marvin Gaye, one of his musical influences. The performer is said to share another dubious tie with Gaye. Kelly has been rumored to have romanced underage girls. The whisper started in earnest around 1994 when word was out that he had secretly married a 15-year-old then upcoming singer named Aaliyah. After constant denials from both parties, it was later revealed that the secret marriage had been annulled by a Michigan judge months later. Yet, that seemed not to be an end, but the beginning of troublesome rumors. Stories would surface on the street that Kelly had a penchant for young girls. In 1996 and last August, the singer was hit with suits alleging he had engaged in sex with minors. The singer would settle both suits without admitting guilt. Until recently, Kelly had seemed to weather the storm. That was until the now infamous 26-minute videotape surfaced. This tape allegedly shows the singer having sex with a number of women, including a young female who had been identified as a minor. Chicago police were given the tape and say their investigation is ongoing. Kelly could face jail time. Much has been said about the tape and Kelly since it surfaced, including whether the singer's career can sustain this scandal. Many have already convicted him, partly because he has remained silent about the accusations until now. I sat down with the singer this morning in Atlanta, where he's working on new music.
Clearly a difficult time for you now. How are you holding up?
It's very difficult, but I'm holding my own, you know. Got a lot of support from a lot of people out there praying for me, so, you know, I feel pretty good.
Let's talk about why you decided to talk now.
I've been wanting to talk ever since I heard about all of this, but unfortunately you got to go get lawyers, you know what I'm saying, and get protected because of the fact that I'm famous, and there's just a lot of people coming at me right now. So as soon as I went to the lawyers, of course, they tell you to shut up, you know, you can't say this, you can't say that. And that's one thing I really wanted people to understand, that I've been wanting to say something. I've been wanting to come out and, you know, and say what I had to say. But unfortunately, when you are me, you know, or famous, they tell you can't say nothing. So I had to pound them over the head and tell them that, you know, it's enough is enough. You know, people coming out of the woodwork now. I gotta come out and say something. So even though one hand is behind my back, but I'm here.
You and I talked about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, right before the tape came out, and I asked you about the rumors at that point. There was no alleged tape. And you said you'd been dealing with those rumors for a long time, and somehow you'd learned to live with that in one instance. Was it the fact now that there is a purported tape that you said, okay, I don't care, I gotta come out now? Was it the tape that put you over the top?
This did it for me. That, and then also the long caboose of the trains that comes along with it, people coming out of Woodworth saying this, that, and yada, 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 yada about me. And just the rumor of it all, you know, it made me say, I gotta come out and I gotta say something.
Are you, and I know you all have drawn the wagons and you keep your camp close, but are you aware of how many people believe you to be guilty now?
I've heard a lot of people that said a lot of things as far as I'm concerned, as far as the tape is concerned, as far as a lot of rumors. But right now I can't really deal with that because I got to deal with, you know, showing people that I'm not guilty. I got to deal with dealing with the fact that I got a life and I got to protect that life.
You also have a family.
Yeah.
How are they dealing with this? You have 2 children.
Yeah.
And a wife.
Yeah. And
how are they dealing with this?
Well, my wife is totally behind me because she knows the truth, and she's in my corner. And my kids are too young right now to really know what's going on, but I'm sure when they grow up, they'll know the truth.
How much do you think about them when you look at this situation?
I think about them maybe 1,000,000% more now than I was thinking about them before, which was billions of percents, you know what I'm saying, as far as thinking about my kids. And the reason why is because all of this is, It just brought me to a conclusion, you know, as far as, you know, trying to make a change in my life and just trying to turn this whole thing around. And, you know, as far as myself is concerned, and really notice how important my kids are, how important my family is.
Are two lawsuits that you settled alleged by two young ladies who, at the point in time that the lawsuits were filed, were adults, but when they alleged that you had a relationship with them, they said they were minors. You settled out of court.
Yeah.
In this country, many people will assume that means you were guilty. Why'd you settle?
Well, I know that, and now I know that. But at the time, I really wasn't thinking about that. All I know is my lawyers, when it came to me, my lawyers would tell me, you know, at that time, I had a lot of good things in my life going on musically and with my career. You know, this is just not a good time to go to court over something like that. So if you settle, it'd be better. And right now, I wish that I hadn't done that, because I think that has a lot to do with the rumor of R. Kelly and the whole image of the young girl thing and this, that, and the other. And but if I had it all to do it over again, I definitely wouldn't settle.
Did you have any kind of relationship with those two girls?
Absolutely not.
You did know them, though?
Yeah, I know them.
Did you have a professional relationship with them?
No.
You had no professional relationship
No.
with them? And you had no personal relationship with them?
No.
In terms of contact, you did have contact with them,
Yeah.
correct? You would see them. Explain it to me.
Well, the situation is, by me settling out of court and settling that situation, like I said earlier in the interview, I had one hand behind my back. I really can't go into detail about that particular thing, because when I filed the lawsuit, of course, I signed a piece of paper that's saying I couldn't discuss those
So there's a
particular people in that
confidentiality
situation.
agreement
Exactly.
after the fact.
Exactly.
You are saying there was no professional relationship, though, with either one of them, correct? And that there was no personal relationship with either one of them.
What I said is I knew them.
But you did know them.
I knew them.
Aaliyah, that was an issue that a lot of people came to both of you at the time, 94, and wondered. The rumor was that you had married her. We know she's gone now. We know that she can't defend herself, but records have been brought up. A marriage license and an annulment paper.
No disrespect here, Gordon, but Aaliyah's gone, and I have a lot of respect for Aaliyah and her parents. I will definitely not be even discussing Aaliyah. I will not do it, because
And I would not
Aaliyah
ask
has
you-
nothing to do with this, and I just,
But Robert,
out of
understand.
respect for her mom and her father, I
Understand
definitely
this,
would not.
and again,
respect.
if you choose not to, I understand.
Mhm.
I don't want you to talk about Aaliyah as much as I want to clear up the situation.
Well, but by her not having anything to do with the situation, I would hope that people and my fans and everybody will understand why it is I definitely couldn't
So
get
is it
into
fair
talking
to
about
say,
it.
though, that the legal documents that have been shown are real?
I really don't think it's fair to say anything dealing with Aaliyah, because I just don't think that Aaliyah, you know, deserves that. I wouldn't want to bring her up right now.
Let's talk about the tape. When I talked to your representatives, they said you had not seen it and don't want to see it. Is that true?
That is absolutely true.
Have you ever made tapes,
Well, I've done a lot
sex
of
tapes?
I've done a lot of things in my life, man, and things that I even regret, man, and I'm even getting, you know, I feel like I need help for that, and I'm getting help for that. Things that I've done in my life that I don't, you know, really care to discuss here. I can't give you a whole list of my sins and the whole thing, but I've done a lot of things in my life that I'm trying to get help for, and that's why, you know, I consulting with Meeks, Reverend Meeks right now, and just trying to get, you know, some understanding to what's going on in my life.
But that being said, those things that you've done wrong, did that include making tapes while having sex? I'm not talking about with minors now. I'm just talking about period.
Well, like I say, I don't want to sit here and give you everything I've done wrong, you know, a list of things, a list
I'm
of
not
my
asking
sins.
for that, Robert.
you
And
know.
I want to help. I want somehow, when people leave, to be able to say, I can make some conclusions, because that's what it's about, unfortunately, for us now. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, if you have made them in the past, how can you say, as you are alleging, that it's not you on this tape if you've not seen it? That's my question.
Well, if I've never done anything like that, and this particular tape is supposed to be being a tape with me and a young girl. I've done a lot of wrong things in my life, but I am not a criminal. I'm not a monster that people are saying I am. And if people out there have a tape of me and they're saying it's with me and a young girl, a minor, then they're sadly mistaken or they're lying.
I chose not to watch that tape on a personal level until we agreed to do this. And I watched it yesterday. There are people who will say, if it's not him, he's got a straight up twin that he doesn't know about. Do you understand? Because I will say this, I don't know if it was you or not. The person in the tape resembles you a whole lot. Do you understand why people are, if that is the case, this person, if it's not you, resembles you, do you understand why they think that in fact it's you? Body type, face, etc.
No, because I haven't seen the tape, so, but I've heard that, of course.
Why not look at it and be able to say, that is not me unequivocally?
Because I can say it with all confidence right here that it's not me because I didn't do it. You know, it's just if a person tell me, you know, did you rob a bank yesterday? And we have you on tape robbing a bank. If I didn't rob a bank, why would I go to see if I robbed a bank on the tape? That's crazy. I wouldn't do that.
Why do you believe there's so much here? The 2 lawsuits, a third one is being looked at from a young woman who says that you coerced her as a minor to get an abortion. The Aaliyah question.
Now that we're fighting because, well, for one, I know I should have fought those other ones, but I didn't. That's in the past. I can't do anything about that. But now
so you're alleging that that third one is totally false.
It's all, yeah, it's false.
As you say, the other 2 are.
Yeah, because we're fighting that. I can talk about that. You know, I couldn't talk about the other ones, but I wish I could. But this one now, I'm fighting it, and people will see when the smoke clear that all of those were lies.
Do you understand the skepticism, though? Let's take you out of it. Let's say it was me going through this, and you looked at a videotape, and it looked just like me.
If I,
you understand where I'm going?
Yeah, I understand.
Now.
But if it was you, and I asked you, did you make a tape like this, and you told me no, I said, have you seen the tape? And you say, you know, no. And then I say, well, how do you know it's not you if you haven't made it? That's what you just asked me.
You want
know?
America, those that doubt you, to give you the benefit of the doubt to this point.
I want America to know that you can't believe everything you hear, and nowadays you can't believe everything you see. It's a lot of ways to doctor a tape. There's a lot of ways to make things look like what they're not. Now, I haven't seen this tape, and I'm not interested in seeing this tape, but I know that, you know, like I said earlier, I got a lot of problems in my life. I'm dealing with a lot of things within myself. I'm not this perfect guy. I'm not sitting here saying that. I'm not an angel, but I'm no criminal.
Sparkle, ex-protege of yours, she says the girl in the tape is her niece and that that's you in the tape. What do you say to that?
Absolutely not. It's not. And not only that, from what I hear, what my lawyers tell me, the girl said it's not her. And even her mom and her father said it's not her.
Do you believe that Sparkle has an axe to grind?
Yes, I do.
Did you have a relationship with her?
A business relationship.
Only a business relationship.
Only a business
because
relationship.
There were rumors, as there often are with entertainers, that it was more than that.
Yeah.
So
well, there are going to always be rumors, and there's a whole lot of rumors going on.
So the axe to grind would be based on business, not personal.
Well, it was business. The relationship was business, and then it became personal. The situation with that is, you know, Sparkle. I did an album for her. She got some success off of it, and her next album, she wanted somebody else to produce it with me, and I just didn't agree with that. I felt like if this one is successful, then the next one's going to be successful, and that's just not the way I'm doing business. It's just bring in other producers. I'm the producer in that, and this is what I do. I'm going to produce you. The first one was successful, and I feel this is going to be successful. It became a big deal. I mean, it became a really big deal, and where it was just some bad blood between us, and she didn't like it, and she left the company, signed with someone else, and then that person who she wanted to produce produced her. It didn't work out. She became really mad, really angry, and it's just been downhill ever since. So Sparkle, I would say, has a lot of reasons right now to be mad at me.
Do you believe that those reasons are turning into these accusations?
I really do believe in my heart it has something to do with it, yeah.
Let me ask you about career. You put out an album, Best of Both Worlds, with Jay-Z, highly anticipated. People said the sales would be through the roof. We have seen sales, while good, not what anyone anticipated. When Ron Isley mentioned you at the Soul Train Awards, there were boos in the audience. Are you concerned about your career?
I'm very concerned about my career, but most of all, I'm concerned about my life, because the career is after that, and that's what I should have seen in the beginning. In the beginning, I didn't see it. It was the career. It was R. Kelly. It was the bling bling. It was the women, the clubs. But now I'm looking at my life here. You know, I'm a human being. I have a life here to protect. Of course, I care about what people think about me, what they think about my music. I love my fans, love my music, but this is a bit more important than the music career, you know, and I love my career. Everybody know I love music, but I'm trying to protect my life right now.
Can you, and I hear that, and I'm not trying to minimize, but do you believe your career is stunted from this point on? Can you recover it all? We saw accusations against Michael Jackson, and while his career still thrives, it's not what it was prior to the accusations. Do you believe that you're hurt from this point on?
Well, I like to think positive. I like to say that, you know, once people see that I'm not a monster like people out there saying I am. I'm not a monster. I'm not out here doing the things that people are saying I'm doing. But at the same time, I'm not a perfect guy. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to be an angel either. You know, I said earlier, I got things in my life that I'm dealing with. That's why I'm working with the Reverend Pastor Meeks right now. But and I'm trying to just clear a lot of things up with my life. Get from around the people that I used to be around. You know, stop hanging around the same environment and just, you know, and get into a more positive light, even with my music. And I hope that people would see that, and I hope that they would, you know, understand that.
Robert, is there any way that, and any of us who've been in this business understand that this is a fair question, is there any way that you could have been involved physically with a minor and not known it?
No, I wouldn't say, you know, from my past up to now, I wouldn't say that I didn't know it if it did happen, if I was involved with a minor. She would have to lie to me, you know, but I wouldn't sit here and say no way possible, no.
How concerned are you about the possibility of jail? The idea that if the Attorney General brings charges, you could be, if the tape is to be believed, charged with sex with a minor and videotaping child pornography. I know you say you don't think about it because it's not true, but they're still investigating.
I do think about it.
How concerned are you?
I do think about it, and I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned when people can get something going about you and you're being famous and it spreads so much and things become so negative that you're facing something that can just ruin your life, you know, and I'm very concerned about that. That's why I'm here.
Finally, tell me what you want your fans to know, the skeptics to know, people who are viewing this program to know. What do you want them to walk away with knowing? Well,
I want them to know, first of all, that I'm not a perfect person. As I said before, I'm not a man that's sitting up here saying I'm this angel. You know, I really want people to know that I have a problem in my life that I'm dealing with within myself. But I know that I'm not a criminal. People say that, but my music speaks for itself, and I believe in my music, and I believe the people that buy my music believes in me. So I would just ask my fans to just focus on my music, focus on me trying to be a brother that's trying
down, view the tape, and I know what you said about not doing it, but view the tape and say, to rest everybody's mind that yes, I've seen the tape and I'm telling you what I told you because I knew I didn't do it. It's not me.
I don't think that would rest anybody's mind that is intelligent, you know, because if someone out there feels that I have to go look at a tape that I already know I didn't make, I don't think that rests their mind. It wouldn't rest my mind if someone said that.
Do you understand the skepticism, though? Let's take you out of it. Let's say it was me going through this, and you looked at a videotape, and it looked just like me.
If I,
You understand where I'm
yeah,
going
I
now.
understand. But if it was you, and I asked you, did you make a tape like this, and you told me no, I said, have you seen the tape? And you say, you know, no. And then I say, well, how do you know it's not you if you haven't made it? That's what you just asked me.
Robert, I want to go back to one issue that, and as you know how things like this roll, when people found out we were going to talk to you, from the mailman on down, everybody had a question to ask you.
Yeah.
People have said where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And the history of what's come before, albeit settled in court and the like. Tell me again why you want people to know, even though these allegations have been there, settled out of court, the Aaliyah question, all of those things, why you should perhaps see smoke but know that there's no fire there.
Well, not trying to be smart aleck, I guess, but where there's fire, there's water, and that's what I'm here to do, is try to put out the fire today, and set the record straight with everybody, and hope that they can see, without me being able to say everything, what's really going on.
You have said that you believe that there is a smear campaign out against you, that you think people are out to get you. Who is they?
Well, you know, I'm going to be very honest. I know a lot of things that that unfortunately I just can't discuss, because I can't get on TV claiming this person or that person. You know, I just can't say names and who's doing this to me. But
You have in the
people
past,
pretty much.
you have in the past mentioned your former agent, though,
Yes, I have.
Barry Hankerson. And your suggestion is that he was behind some of this. Do you believe that he's behind any of this smear campaign?
Well, you know what? That's something that I have to let my lawyers handle. My lawyers are handling that, you know, and looking into that. And unfortunately, man, like I say, I'm biting my teeth here. I wish that I could say a lot of things, because I owe it to my fans. That's why I'm here. I owe it to people. I owe it to my family and myself to be here. And I'm making a big step to be here and talk about this. It's just that I'm doing it with a hand behind my back. I can't say a lot of things, unfortunately, and I apologize for that. But you know, I hope that people understand how the legal thing goes. Especially when you're a celebrity, the first thing they do is tell you can't say anything. I'm not even supposed to be here talking about it, but I just feel I have to say something and be here. Take a break.
I mentioned Barry Hankerson only in the sense that you had mentioned him publicly before. There's been word that an old protege
Well,
of
I never
yours.
said Barry Hankerson.
Well, I'm just going on what. Let me. You tell me if you said this. This is supposedly from you. Audio. I have an ex-manager that's been on my back. A lot of people know about it. But when the smoke clears, you guys will really be able to know exactly what's going on. People are trying to make money off my music, and my name is in a very, very negative way. I've been blackmailed for the last 4 years. I didn't give in. I'm still not going to give in. There are a lot of people who are very jealous of me, and they're trying to destroy me. Did you not mean Barry Hankerson here?
Well, I can't really, like I say, because of the legal thing, I can't just name names. I've had a lot of managers in the past, but right now, I can't say this man's name. I just can't. I wish that I could. Believe me, I wish that I could, because the human, just the regular guy, Robert, wants to. But if I'm paying lawyers to clear this and make sure that I'm okay and whole that, then they have to give me, I have to follow some advice.
You know, though, that he feels that you mean him. You know that?
I can't say what he means. I don't know what he feels. You know?
I will tell you that because we have had a myriad of calls from people, including Mr. Hankerson. He feels that you mean him.
Coming up next on BET Tonight.
In America, we're innocent until proven guilty. Rob hasn't been convicted of anything. Rob hasn't been charged of anything. And so there is a right to affiliate with a person who hasn't been convicted or charged. But Ed, I would want the record to read, if he had been convicted and charged, God still has an umbrella big enough for all of us to fit under.